Good morning, RWorld, and welcome back to RWorldTalk. We're so happy that you're joining us again today. We've got a really fun guest in store for you this Friday. We have Miss Eliana Blech joining us. Eliana, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So we are going to just jump right in as we normally do. We've got a lot of ground to cover this morning. So you started your real estate career quite recently, but you are only 23 years old and you're already killing it. And creating a big-time impact. So you currently serve as our YPN chair, the Young Professionals Network, which
Correct.
I used to be a part of. Now I'm in the OPN. Tell us a little bit more about your journey so far in real estate and when that began.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Excited to be here. I began my real estate journey on somewhat of an untraditional track. I was 18 years old. I was a freshman at Florida Atlantic University.
Okay.
And I had started a networking program at FAU, pairing students with jobs and internships on campus. And so naturally, as a somewhat natural born leader, I would say, I started networking with really high-end professionals in the Boca Raton, Delray Beach area.
Okay.
And so my father, who's a licensed real estate broker himself, he doesn't sell houses. Both my parents have their licenses, but neither of them are involved in real estate, approached me and said, you're 17, you're about to turn 18 now. You're networking with all these incredible people. Do what mom and I did, get your real estate license. It's easy test to pass and you don't have to ever sell a house. But now when you network, you can say I'm a real estate professional as opposed to just being a freshman at FAU because they're going to look down at freshmen and they're going to be very impressed if you have something else to show.
Okay.
And so it was a means for me to kind of elevate myself, both, amongst my peers at FAU, but then also professionally at those types of networking events that I'd been attending.
Okay.
And so I did just that. I went to Gold Coast. I passed my real estate exam and I was adamant. I would never sell a house, but it would be a really pretty business card that I can have my picture on and impress people with. And so I joined my brokerage. At the time I had just turned 18 and I met my broker. We did the typical broker interview, agent interview. And I told him then, I want to go to law school. I'm going to be a divorce attorney one day. I will never sell a house, but I will look really pretty in all your pictures.
Okay.
Great, signs me on. My parents had been at the company as well. They weren't actively in real estate. It wasn't a shocker to him. And so my broker is very much like a go-getter type of like enthusiastic, energizer bunny type of person. And so I started going to his trainings. And
Peloton Master.
Peloton Master for sure. Congratulations, Ben.
Yeah.
And so I started going to all of his trainings and just fell in love with real estate and slowly started selling house after house and realized, I really love this and I don't really like divorce law stuff. It's kind of boring. And so it just evolved into real estate.
Okay, fantastic. And you were just telling me before we started, you started off as an agent for 2 years, but then at 20 years old, got your broker's license.
Yeah, so I got my broker's license the day I was allowed to, right when I was turned 20 years old. So I've been an agent for 2 years, a broker for 3 years now.
That is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I mean, when I said that you're killing it, you're literally killing it and taking the real estate world by storm. So what have you accomplished in that short 5 years that you've been licensed? I mean, what kind of business are you doing these days?
What have I accomplished? Well, I was in the top 20 of my brokerage last year. I believe I stopped at number 12 or 13, right around that point.
That's incredible. That's a huge brokerage too.
Yeah, we have just about 1,600 agents at the company.
1,600 agents. For anybody who doesn't know, she's with Ben Schachter over at Signature Companies, which is why when I said Peloton Master, everybody knows from his social media journey that he's just been, I think every single morning he's been on his Peloton and sometimes twice a day. Am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. He hasn't missed a day in 3 years. And so January, when I went to convention with him in Orlando, my parents had just bought a Peloton. No one used it. And so he made me go down with him.
Yeah.
And so now I haven't missed a day since January. So people keep equating that. But no, he's incredible. He's lost a lot of weight. I want to say it was about 180 pounds or so.
That's
completely
amazing.
Naturally on the Peloton.
Congratulations, Ben.
Congratulations. But so accomplishments. So I started sales wise. I'm in the top of the company, top 10 in the company, 20 in the company this year. I won the Rising Star Award of the Broward Palm Beach St. Lucie Realtors, and that was in 2021. And then in 2022, I won the Young Professional Realtor of the Year award.
Absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Those are
you've been
probably my
doing.
proudest moments, proudest accomplishments.
You've been doing amazing things, especially here. I mean, obviously in your own business, but especially for us here at the association. So all of us, I'll say from the bottom of my heart, we thank you so much for your service. And at such a young age to really be crushing it in the world of association politics and service is absolutely an incredible accomplishment in its own. Let's talk about social media, which is obviously important for everybody's business. But I am going to assume that you probably spend a little bit more time on social media than I do. So maybe I'm wrong, but you tell me. How important are social media and marketing for your business? And what are some things that work for you that you might be able to share with some other realtors that are listening?
Yep, absolutely. So it's funny. Social media is definitely naturally a huge part of my business, but I'm very much a people person and relationship person.
Very important.
So the majority of my business is either referrals or cold calling. I wouldn't say that the majority is coming from social media itself.
Okay.
For me, it's a means to connect with a larger scale of people. So I've posted daily debates on Facebook asking my customers if they like pizza upright or folded, or if they like New York or Chicago better, and just their answers and hearing different things. And someone will chime in and say, oh, I prefer beaches to mountains. And it's, well, we have the best beaches in Florida. What are you doing in New York then?
Right.
And so it's just an opportunity for me to really connect with my customers and connect with people who are not yet my customers, but will be one day, and just get those relationships going and developed.
Just start the conversation.
Start the conversation.
And you have done an amazing job with your cold calling, I'm hearing. And I know that when we had you do celebrity bartending up at Throw Social in
That was so
Delray,
fun.
you were calling, what, 800 people a day trying to get trying to get investments in
Yep.
for RPAC?
So my involvement at the celebrity bartending event was I was one of 3 celebrity bartenders for the board, fundraising for the Realtor Political Action Committee for people's contributions. And so it was all calling realtors that I either already had a relationship with or was developing a relationship with at the time. And I think I ended up at just under 2,000 calls. It was like 1,800 something at the end of the day.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you.
Well, good
was a
job.
blast.
Good job. Obviously, you won celebrity bartending.
I did win celebrity bartending.
Okay, fantastic.
It's another accomplishment I'm very proud of.
Right. So being involved with the YPN, you guys sponsor TechCon. And you put in a lot of work
Yes.
into that to making sure that all goes off well. Being that we've got another TechCon coming up, because the first one that you did this year was such a huge success that we actually added a second version of TechCon this year. So tell us about that event and explain to all the realtors that are listening right now, if you wouldn't mind, why they need to attend TechCon.
Of course. So a big goal of YPN in general, and a big focus of mine as chairperson this year, was to make sure that we hosted as many educational opportunities for young and upcoming realtors. And when I say young at heart, young in the business, young member, whatever it is, everyone's welcome to YPN events.
I know people older than me that are still involved with YPN.
Yes. I'll have people say they're aging out. And I'm like, wait, how do you age out of YPN? Because I don't think I'll ever
Doesn't
do
happen.
that.
Nope.
But in all seriousness, we have a lot of great networking events and great educational opportunities. TechCon is an annual event that we host, and we've hosted it for, I believe, 4 or 5 years now. And it's everything that's new and upcoming in technology. So this year, it's obviously a very heavy focus on ChatGPT, on artificial intelligence, and anything else that's technologically related that isn't necessarily at the forefront of people's business yet, but should be or will be one day.
Right.
And so this year it's on June 28th. It's at the Boca Raton Marriott. And our committee is very excited. We have some incredible speakers and guests. And it's, again, all focused on what's new and upcoming in technology that you can use to promote your business and to scale your business.
Awesome. And we are not sold out yet.
We are not sold out yet. We're getting close, but we're not there yet.
Okay. So for everybody who's listening,
Yes.
you are hearing this right now that TechCon is not yet sold out. It's going to be at the gorgeous Boca Resort. So make sure that you get signed up for TechCon. We want to see all of you there. If you don't know how to perfectly use AI yet, you need to go to TechCon and figure it out, because it's taken our industry by storm.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for the plug. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem. Hey, okay. So if there were 3 business goals that you'd like to achieve in the next 5 years, what would those be? And I'll ask you a little bit more specifically, because we're talking about AI and tech, would implementing AI or ChatGPT in a greater capacity make that list of the next 5 things you'd like to do?
This is going to sound a little bit weird, but for me, like when you say 5 years, that's such a long time. If I don't implement ChatGPT in the next 5 minutes or 5 weeks at the most, I think I'm behind the curve at that point.
100%.
And so my 5-year plans are a lot more focused on eventually building my team. I am the team lead of Estates by Eliana at Signatures. So building my team and having more members join me under my team, and then building a business that it's more predictable. So in real estate, I'm sure a lot of realtors who are listening to this can predict, or can relate to rather. It's hard to predict what business you're getting at what point of the year.
Right.
And I want my business to be so consistent that I know exactly what to expect every month of the year and then grow from there.
It would be nice to budget properly, wouldn't it? If you know that the income's
and then
coming.
I could put more into marketing, more into advertising. So my 5-year plan is really to just scale my business that much more and then be able to mentor agents under me.
Okay.
And so ChatGPT and artificial intelligence is so important. That's like in my 5-minute goal list, not my 5-year goal list, because I think at the 5-year mark, we're going to have so many new TechCon events that are going to teach me so many new things that I have not even been invented yet. But absolutely, it's very, very, very important. But
I love that you touched on that AI and ChatGPT and things like that are so powerful that we really need to get behind them right now. This is not something that we should be waiting for.
Yeah.
Figure out how to use the tool and use it to your advantage.
Exactly. It's already a part of my business. So
Okay. So when you talk about growing your team, what kind of steps, actionable items are you putting in place in order to start growing that team?
So I already have the team. Anyone who follows me on social media knows that all of my marketing has come out already. So I have all of my beach umbrellas. I focus in Highland Beach. So most of my farming and sales are in Highland Beach. And so beach umbrellas, beach tumblers, beach canvases.
I love where you're
going. Everything is very oceanfront and just sells the lifestyle. So right now, my ideal customer is someone who just wants that healthy lifestyle. I've had a lot of autoimmune conditions and I've suffered with a lot of health problems, and just being able to turn that around and be such a positive and healthy person, really.
Awesome.
It's been hugely contributed to the lifestyle I live. And so for me, living on the beach, and I personally do live in Highland Beach on the water, has been a big part of my success path. And so scaling my business is going to be finding other like-minded realtors who want to be successful and have that drive at being successful, but maybe lack the steps in how to get there, and just helping them scale their businesses, which would effectively scale my own as well.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Just want to address an elephant in the room real quick for anybody who is listening. We do have a major thunderstorm going on. Welcome to Florida in the summertime. So if you are hearing some background noise, that's just a lot of rain and a hell of a lot of thunder going on. Okay, so if you were to give specific advice to realtors under 30 years old, such as yourself, what would you like to say to them in order to help them who are maybe struggling in business right now?
That's hard. People ask me that all the time because obviously I'm doing something right. And so people want to emulate that. And I think my answer changes a lot based on who I'm talking to and where I'm at in the conversation.
Okay.
I'd say my best piece of advice is find someone, and it doesn't have to be a family member. It's probably more ideal if it isn't, but someone who has an unbiased viewpoint of you and is equally, if not more, committed to your success and more excited to see you succeed than you are yourself.
I agree with don't ask your family because they're just going to lie.
Exactly. But just find someone who genuinely wants to see you grow and succeed and emulate what they're doing in their path of success and learn from them. I'm really big on having mentors. For me personally, it's my broker. So you'll hear me mention him all the time, but Ben really has been such a driving force in my life and has shown me that path to success. And it doesn't have to be your broker. Find someone at the board, find someone who you connect with, find someone who sells in your area, whatever it is, but find a mentor that just really cares about you, about you as a person, and believes in you. I think that those three items are the key to success.
Okay. So I would say, again, for anyone listening, we do have some great leaders at this association, and any one of us, not calling myself a great leader, but any person that's involved here at the association is more than happy to mentor anybody who's looking for a little bit of advice, maybe some help using some tools, maybe help with prospecting or what they could be doing in order to help grow their business, but certainly talk to your broker as well.
Absolutely.
That's what your broker's there for.
I have so many agents that are on my YPN committee or upcoming Leadership Academy students, and I mentor them and help them. They're not at my brokerage, but if you believe in someone, it's just so easy to help them and find someone who believes in you, because I think success is really contagious. And a big part of my success has been hanging around the board and hanging around with people who are doing the right things already. Mm-hmm. It just naturally forces you into a routine of success.
So you had just mentioned, finding a good mentor. Besides Ben, your broker, who else have you had in your life that's been a mentor along your real estate journey?
I know he said steer away from family, but definitely my father. He's been a great driving force for me. He really pushes me in business. He's a CPA by trade, so he's one of the smartest people I know, and I credit him for a huge, tremendous amount of my successes. Other than that, trying to think, I've always kind of been in leadership, and I've always I wanted to be in politics for a little bit. So I've had a lot of different advisors who were on the political side of the spectrum, and taught me bipartisan politics and how to just like network and meet people. And so I think it's just like little things from each one of those individuals that I've picked up with, and I've liked this, I don't like that. And that's helped me shape me into the person who I am today.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot about social media, and one thing that you had just brought up was politics. And it just made me think of something that I think we haven't spoken about on this podcast yet, but certainly important for all realtors to know. Social media really has a life of its own. And once you put something out there, it never goes away. You could think that, oh yeah, I'll delete it in the morning, but I guarantee somebody's already screenshot it. But how important do you think it is to keep politics out of social media? Because I know that young people nowadays are really big time advocates of what they believe in. And we see a lot of it getting pumped out onto social media. But when you are involved in real estate and you're basically playing bipartisan politics every time you wake up, because you've got to make sure that the person that you're working with is not on the opposite side of the political spectrum that you are on. How important do you think it is to keep that off your social media?
Oh my God, it's my biggest pet peeve when I see people post it. You're like hitting the nail on the head. Yeah. For me, my branding, my nails right now are purple. My entire branding, all my umbrellas are purple, and it's definitely my favorite color. But when you mix red and blue, you get purple. And I think that that's a really big saying for the Realtor Association. It's something I live by. I believe things on both sides. Obviously, I have who I vote for, and I'm proud of that, but it's never on my social media, because there's no real enemy. You're all coming together for a common reason and common force, and everyone wants to see others succeed and wants to see the country succeed, the board succeed, whatever you're looking at. Keep politics out of your business. You have to sell to houses to Republicans, and you have to sell houses to Democrats. It does not matter where you stand. Right. So, and it's negative. Nobody wants someone negative. So just post the sun, post the beach, post something happy, post what your accomplishments are, but don't post anything political. You're never going to make friends doing it. You think you will, but you just won't.
Please take Eliana's advice if you're listening. Don't post political. But talking about politics, you are one of the vice chairs for RPAC.
Yes.
And why did you get involved with RPAC? What was it that, I know you said that you were thinking about getting involved politically and had some aspirations there, but why RPAC? Why did you choose that?
Okay. It's like my biggest passion. So like I said, I thought about doing politics at one point, and that's been a big driver of how I became who I am ultimately growing up, and political internships and whatnot. And then in college, I was very involved in an organization called APAC, which focuses on the America's relationship with Israel and making sure that that remains strong. And so RPAC just felt like a natural progression. For me, politics is just having a voice. And for me, it's having a voice in something that you actually care about, affects you, affects people you love, and you're passionate about. And obviously, I'm passionate about real estate. I wouldn't be doing what I do if I wasn't passionate about it. And so for me, RPAC is just an opportunity to use my voice for the betterment of the industry and leave the industry in a better place than I found it. And so it's the most perfect organization for me. I think that they do so many good things for the country, for our local community, for our realtor members, that I don't really understand how people don't see the value and don't want to be involved. It's just a natural progression into wanting to have a successful career.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm involved with RPAC and the Realtor Party on every level, from local, state, national. So I share in that passion big time, because I've seen firsthand the difference that we can make when we use one collective voice to go and lobby our legislators and affect real change right here in South Florida, but also nationwide. So it's absolutely incredible. Okay, a couple more things. We're going to have two last questions. Number one, let's take real estate out of the equation. What in the world do you do for fun? I know that you're busy, but you've got to get out there and unwind once in a while. Seems like you're always working, but what's Eliana passionate about outside of the world of real estate?
See, it's hard because when you say it feels like I'm always working, I feel like I'm never working, and not because I'm not succeeding, but because I just enjoy what I do every day.
Okay.
I don't feel like it's work. I love going to these networking events and getting to meet new people and hear their stories. That's a big thing.
That's why you're successful in real estate.
Thank you. My high school hour slogan, I say it a lot, it was everyone has a story. And I just live by that. I think that the pen is the greatest weapon that there is out there, and just learning from people and hearing their stories is such a big part of my life. But outside of real estate, what does Eliana do? I oversee about 40 mentor-mentee relationships with soldiers who have PTSD and trauma. So I have 2 mentees of my own that I speak to every Wednesday. One I have a meeting with at 3 a.m, and the other one at 4:15 a.m. every Wednesday, so that I could do that before my day really gets started. And just seeing that, you're able to make a difference in someone who sacrificed so much for their country, and then able to help them back into reality, that's huge for me. So that
is incredible.
Thank you. That's like my biggest project right now. And it's something I've been working on for many years now, and I just love. So we do the mentoring, and then there's a trauma-based yoga side of the program as well that I'm not as involved with, just because I'm not a yoga person, but overseeing the mentoring is a huge part of my life. And then aside from that, I live in the greatest state in the entire world.
Yeah, you do.
And just being able to enjoy the beaches and enjoy the weather and go walking. And I'm, like I said, not missing a day on the Peloton, and trying to get my life in shape and be as healthy as I possibly can be is a really big thing to me. So working out every day, do Pilates every day, the Peloton every day, walk the beach every day. And
Awesome.
Just living life, just taking life and taking every opportunity that I have given to me.
I love it. And thank you for what you're doing for our veterans. That's certainly admirable. And I hope that everybody takes a little bit of time out of their life to do as much as they can, or at least give them a thank you.
Thank you.
That's incredible. Okay, last question. We always ask this of every person that we have on the show. Tell us about a little South Florida, I shouldn't say South Florida, a Florida gem. Something that, some place that maybe we haven't been to yet. Maybe it's a restaurant, a park. Obviously you love the outdoors, so I'm guessing that it's going to be something outdoors. You tell us your favorite little spot in Florida, a little gem that we might not know about.
A little gem that we might not know about. See, it's hard. My balcony overlooks the ocean. So for me, I'm like, my room is a gem. I love Florida, but I'd say probably Ginny Springs, right outside of the Gainesville area. I have 3 younger sisters. They're my best friends, my favorite people in the entire world. 2 of them are Gators, and 1 is a Seminole.
Okay.
And so on the way to Gainesville, there's Ginny Springs, which has the glass bottom boats and these crystal blue waters. And it's just so nice to be outside and so close to home at the same time. So I would say just anything beachy, outdoorsy, Ginny Springs, Highland Beach, anything like that.
Ginny Springs. I hear that's each year they have some sort of a festival where everybody gets in these floaty rafts, and you just grab a cooler of beer and float down the river or something.
I have heard that. I haven't been, but I've heard of that.
Okay. I got to go check that out one day.
I'll go with you.
Okay. Sounds good to me. I'll bring the beers. You bring the floaties.
Deal.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being with us, spending your time with us. I know how busy you are, but certainly you've given us some great info. And for all those that tuned in, we will see you right back here next time on RWorldTalk. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.